Elias Wren loved the early mornings on Airlon 5, the kind where the twin suns had not quite risen, leaving the canyons wrapped in blue shadows and cold mist. But this morning was different. This morning, the mist seemed alive. His rover hummed quietly behind him as he checked the last coordinates on his wrist console. For 3 months, the Terran xenobiology cores had been getting unusually high energy readings from this canyon system. Pulses so strong the scanners mistook them for malfunctioning equipment. Elias had been sent to investigate alone because he was the only one stubborn enough to drive into a canyon system known for swallowing drones whole. He took a bite of his ration bar, spiced protein, terrible texture, and crouched to examine a glowing mineral vein on the canyon floor. Then he heard it, a tiny voice, sharp, clear, childlike. "Hey, we can eat your leftovers if you don't want them." Elias froze mid-dash chew. He turned slowly, scanning the canyon walls for speakers, echo chambers, anything, nothing. Then the voice came again, this time joined by another, just as tiny. "Yes. Give us the crunchy parts." Elias lowered the ration bar very carefully. "Hello?" he said to the silent canyon. For a moment he heard nothing except the faint hum of wind slipping between rock formations. Then, from beneath a boulder near his boots, 3 small heads popped out. 3 small, scaly heads. 3 dragon heads. Beginning the HATCH alliances, the creatures were no bigger than kittens. But kittens didn't have glowing opal eyes, pearlescent scales, flickering tails, or wings that fluttered excitedly like metallic butterflies. All 3 stared up at him with the unblinking curiosity of children. The boldest one stepped out first. "Is that food?" Elias blinked. You can talk?" The hatchling puffed his little chest. "Of course. Mother says all higher creatures speak." "You're a higher creature, right?" The second hatchling whispered loudly to the first. "He looks like a higher creature, but also like a squishy creature. It's very squishy." The third agreed. Elias coughed. "I'm not squishy." The hatchlings gasped dramatically. "He speaks. He understands." "Maybe he's not squishy." The boldest one darted right to his boot, sniffing the crumbs on Elias's glove. "Leftovers?" he asked sweetly. Elias hesitated, then broke off a tiny corner of his ration bar and set it on a flat stone. "Just a little. I don't know if this is good for you." The hatchlings pounced, like miniature THUNDRBOL. TS.6, tails flailing with joy, wings fluttering, all 3 making enthusiastic, happy growls. The smallest looked up at Elias. Crumbs stuck adorably on her snout. "You're very kind," she declared. "Other creatures scream when they see us." The bold one nodded. "Or run away. Or explode." The second added cheerfully. Elias choked. "Explode." "That was only one," the smallest said. He was very startled. Elias felt suddenly lightheaded. "Okay, new rule for today. No exploding." The hatchlings opened their mouths to respond. But a deep rumble rolled through the canyon, a tremor. "Shadow." The hatchlings immediately huddled. "Together. Mother's coming," whispered the bold one. The air thickened, as though something enormous pushed it. Aside, Elias swallowed. "What is your mother exactly?" The second hatchling blinked innocently. "Big, very big," the third added. The first nodded proudly. "And shiny." "How shiny? Boo. Oh. OAM. Something massive landed outside the canyon mouth. Dust rained down. The hatchling squealed. Scrambling behind Elias's legs, not in fear but excitement. Mother's home. Elias turned slowly toward the cave entrance, and his heart nearly stopped. The mother. Dragonar Arrivache stepped into the canyon like a walking supernova. Her wings were folded like silver mountains behind her. Her body was enormous, easily the size of a small shuttlecraft. Blue-white scales shone with an inner bioluminescent glow. Her eyes burned like twin stars, old, wise, impossibly intelligent. Elias stumbled backward, instinctively. The mother dragon lowered her head to examine the strangers standing beside her children. The hatchlings burst out from behind Elias, tumbling toward her feet. Mother, look. He shared food with us. He didn't faint or explode. Slowly, the gigantic dragon turned her gaze toward Elias. You fed my young, she said, her voice a deep harmonic rumble that vibrated through the canyon walls. Elias swallowed. They were hungry, she inhaled, nostrils flaring slightly. You smell honest, she said, and terrified. Elias gave a weak laugh, very observant. The dragon studied him for a long, suffocating moment. Elias felt like he was being analyzed, molecule by molecule. My name is Startled, she said at last. Matriarch of the luminous flight. It's Elias Wren, he replied shakily. Terran xenobiology. Startled flicked her tail, the motion carving a small trench in the dust. My children are not supposed to leave the nest. They are curious. Too curious. The bold hatchling piped up, but he fed us. The small one hugged Elias's boot. He's our friend. Startled's massive eye fixed on him again. My children have not called any outsider friend before. Elias exhaled slowly. I'm honored. I think, but before Startled could reply, a shrill alarm blared on Elias's wrist. Calm. He looked down. Terran scout ship inbound 800 meters. Oh no. Oh no. Elias muttered. Startled stiffened, her wings flaring protectively. You brought hunters, she said dangerously. No, Elias said quickly. They're not hunters. They're here because they tracked my beacon. They think I'm in danger. Are you? Not unless you decide to roast me. Startled snorted softly, amused. Elias hoped. But the sound of engines was growing louder. Too loud, middle. The Missuendiers, Asta and Diandia, the Terran scout ship, swooped over the canyon, scanning beams sweeping back and forth. Inside the cockpit, Elias knew exactly what they were seeing. Massive, unknown organism. Energy signature, unstable. Possible threat to human personnel. Prepare weapons. The hatchling shrank beneath Startled's chest, peeking with wide, frightened eyes. Startled's wings trembled with fury. They aimed their skyfire at my young, she growled. They don't know you're peaceful, Elias said desperately. The ship's lights flashed red. Weapon lock. Startled crouched. Ready to spring, Elias Wren? She said in a tone that shook the stone beneath them. If they fire, I will defend my brood. They'll fire back, Elias whispered. He had one choice, one insane, suicidal choice. He sprinted into the open, straight into the scanning beam. Arms raised. The pilot's startled voice crackled through his calm. Elias? Move! There's a massive creature near you. Stand down, Elias shouted. She's intelligent. She's not hostile. Elias, if you fire, you'll hit me first. A long moment of breathless silence followed. Then the ship slowly eased back, lights dimming. Weapon systems disengaging, the scan beams shifted from hostile to unknown. Elias collapsed to his knees. Trembling with adrenaline behind him, Startled exhaled. A warm gust, rolling over him like a sigh. You stood between my children and skyfire, she said softly. Yeah, he breathed. I did something stupid, she corrected. You did something brave. The hatchlings swarmed him, chattering happily. You saved us. You saved Mother. You're the best builder ever. Elias laughed shakily. I'm not even a builder. I fix sensors. To them, Startled said. That is building. The scout ship hovered at a respectful distance now. Awaiting instructions, Startled stepped beside Elias, lowering her enormous head. Come, she said. If we are to avoid war, we must talk. The dragon sanctuary Cerithia led him deeper into the canyon through a narrow stone arch, then into a vast hidden basin, a glowing sanctuary filled with bioluminescent plants, warm crystal pools, and organic structures built from woven wing-dash filaments. It looked like a city sculpted from light. The hatchlings ran ahead, bouncing between luminous flowers and warm stones. Elias stood speechless. This is... He struggled for words. Beautiful. "No, this is our last home," Sorella said softly. Elias turned. Last. The mother dragon walked toward the glowing pool, her reflection shimmering. "Long ago, my flight filled these skies. Thousands. We soared between storms and carved nests into the mountains. What happened?" "You're kind," she said bluntly. "Not you, but those before you. They came with fire, noise, machines we did not understand. We defended ourselves. They defended themselves. Too much fear. Too much confusion. And war followed." Elias whispered. "Enough of one," Sorellith replied. "We lost nearly all. Only for matriarchs remain." Elias felt the weight of her words settle on him. "You're endangered. More than you know." One of the hatchlings climbed onto her back. She nuzzled him protectively. "We hide now. We avoid sky people. We survive." Leah shook his head. "But we're scanning your energy pulses constantly. You can't hide forever. Someone less careful than me would have stumbled in here eventually." Sorellith's glowing eyes narrowed. And what would they have done? Elias didn't want to answer. She already knew the answer. So he said instead, "We can change things." Sorella snorted softly. "Can you?" "I can try. And I won't be alone." The dragon tilted her head. "What do you propose, Elias Wren?" "A treaty. Protection zones. Mutual communication. If your energy signature is registered and officially classified, no expedition teams will be allowed within 50 kilometers." Sorella seemed to think for a long moment. "My people do not trust easily." "Then let me earn it," Elias said. The hatchling scampered back. Holding glowing rocks like toys, Sorellith watched them for a moment. Then she looked at Elias. "If you betray us, right?" she said quietly. "We will vanish into the storms, and your kind will never see us again."